welcome back. I've been reading a lot about wind and temperature. We are looking at the darker area behind a storm as it moves over land and wondering if that cloudy water heated up more than clear water. Normally the sun heats darker surfaces faster and hotter than lighter colored surfaces. According to the University of California and Santa Barbara website, a darker object will absorb more radiation than a lighter colored one and will thus heat up faster under bright light. I think we all knew that. But just to make sure, from the University of Hawaii, muddy water absorbs more energy from the sun than clear water does, resulting in further heating. So the question was, does warmer water cause a storm to be more intense, or does the more intense storm cause the water to get warmer? Whichever answer you pick, it's all about the sun and not pollution. It certainly muddies the water a bit. So if the sun is heating up the ocean, what else is the sun heating up? It turns out that NASA has sent rovers and orbiters to other planets and moons throughout our solar system. Most of them were sent to relay conditions like temperature back to Earth for analysis. Missions have been sent to Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, as well as our moon and the sun. It took a lot of digging for some reason, but it looks like the whole solar system has warmed ever so slightly. They call it planetary warming. Some people scoff at that because only Earth has an atmosphere that can trap carbon dioxide. Maybe so, but I'm still going to have to add this to my suspect list. The high moisture storms that Senator Sanders and White House mention are getting their added moisture from somewhere, and they say it's from melting glaciers and polar ice. Senator Whitehouse says on his website, extreme weather is an effect of global warming. While experiencing some of the hottest summers on record, much of the United States also has been experiencing colder than normal winters. Changes in the timing of seasonal events and changes in agriculture productivity. I guess that's why they call it climate change. Those are some big changes, but icebergs are 90% underwater. That means only 10% is above the water, and water expands when it warms. Aha, another clue. The high moisture causing the storms can only come from melting ice. The 10% of icebergs and glaciers only disappear in the summer. Where else can that water be coming from? Asteroids have been blamed for bringing water to Earth originally, but we haven't seen a lot of big ice asteroids hitting the planet in the last 1,000 years. Wait. What about all that water from water wells? Mankind has been digging holes in the ground to get water for almost 10,000 years. That's a lot of water. So if we search for water wells and look at the oldest one, wow, that is old. And if we look at how water wells have gone bigger and deeper, we can see that cities are using huge pumping stations to get the water to the surface. They drill down until they hit what's called an aquifer. It's a gigantic underground lake, and the water has taken thousands, if not millions, of years to get there. We have to be very, very careful with what water supply we have, because we need more water than anything else. So, the water is pumped up from a well. The water is used to drink and water plants, and is also used to wash everything, and many other uses. So most of the water winds up back in the ocean where it enters the evaporation cycle. Water gets evaporated and falls as rain and snow. I wonder how much water we have brought to the surface. Whatever the amount, you can't blame it all on melting icebergs anymore. And that got me thinking. I was starting to see a pattern here. Patterns are very important in detective work, like criminals always returning to the scene of the crime. The senators are making a very scary argument that mankind is responsible for climate change by making the planet warmer and with pollution. They seem to be making a statement without letting people know all the facts. If something bad happened and I knew that a bunch of my people did it, and I told on only the people that I did not like, I'd be grounded for a month when my parents found out. It was time to go back through my notes and see if I missed any other clues. The senators posted on their websites the following: sea levels are rising, and the effects of global warming on the Earth's ecosystems are expected to be profound and widespread. The global temperature has risen on average by 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit, a trend that correlates directly to an increase in the release of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, a trend that is largely driven by the increase in carbon dioxide and other human emissions into the planet's atmosphere. The majority of that warming has occurred in the past 3 decades. But wait, there's more! The current system is highly dependent upon large distant fossil-fueled plants that deliver electricity over expensive and aging transmission systems. Non-renewable resources generate 87% of the nation's electricity. In particular, 43% from coal, 24% from natural gas, and 20% from nuclear. Senator Whitehouse has a series of pages on his website called Time to Wake Up, where he lectures about climate change. On one page he says, "Scientists tell us that the evidence for climate change is unequivocal." Unequivocal. Not a word often used in scientific writing, and the American people know that climate change is real. Let's go back to volcanoes and take a look at the map of the world to see where they are. Now that's interesting. The volcanoes seem to run in lines, and those lines seem to form sections. Those sections are called plates, and those plates move. The scientists called the plate tectonics. The space between those plates is where melted rock from the center of the earth oozes up through volcanoes. Those spaces between plates is where earthquakes start because the plates are moving. North America and Europe, for example, are moving away from each other at the rate about 1 inch per year. That means North America could have moved over 11 feet since the year they started keeping temperature records. Now wait a minute. According to the map, North America is moving southwest. The further south we go, towards the equator, the warmer it gets. If we use 11 feet as the hypotenuse and triangulate, this means that North America could have moved south by as much as 8 feet. Continental drift may not be a suspect, but it sure is an accomplice. And that got me thinking. If the land is moving, what else could be moving? Glaciers. According to the University of Vermont, glaciers are large masses of snow, recrystallized ice, and rocks and debris that accumulate in great quantities and begin to flow outwards and downwards under the pressure of their own weight. Glaciers form when yearly snowfall in a region far exceeds the amount of snow and ice that melts in a given summer. In this way, massive quantities of material accumulate in relatively small periods of geologic time. The senator said that melting glaciers was caused by global warming. But if glaciers excess snow, wouldn't that happen every few years after the snow piles up? Is there a pattern? Maybe a cycle? The state of Utah's website describes the glacial-interglacial cycles. They say many factors contribute to climate variations, including changes in ocean and atmosphere circulation patterns, varying concentrations of atmospheric carbon dioxide, and even volcanic eruptions. Volcanoes. I thought they were important, and we knew about carbon dioxide and storms, but ocean circulation patterns? If we do a search, ocean currents. Water flows from streams and rivers into the ocean, and water moves around the earth in currents. So, the ocean is not just sitting there like a huge puddle. It is actually moving all the time. And it's not just waves. The currents go all the way to the bottom. Water moves from ocean to ocean, and cold water sinks and hot water rises. And the currents are like rivers of water in the water. And there's a map that shows where these currents move to. So if we paste a map showing volcanic activity and we put another one side to side so that we can see where the volcanoes are. And then we lay the ocean current map on top of that. Now wait a second. Some of these currents go right through the underwater volcano fields, and some of them go towards the poles. That water has to be getting warmed up by those volcanoes, and as that warm water goes near the pole, it rises to the surface. That could be helping the ice to melt. And not if 10% on the floating above the water. No, it's warming the 90% that is in the water, and over 80% of the Earth's volcanoes are under the sea. The Utah website says one significant trigger in initiating ice ages is the changing positions of Earth's ever-moving continents, which affect ocean and atmospheric circulation patterns. And then I really got shocked. Glacials and interglacials occur in fairly regular repeated cycles. The timing is governed to a large degree by predictable clinic changes in Earth's orbit. A change in the Earth's orbit? Wow! I'm going to investigate this. It is going to take some time, and I'll see you later. Stay tuned for Chapter 3.